one of the things that I talk about a lot in cooking classes is the 5 transformation theory. Now, according to, I can't give you a class. If you want to learn more about the 5 transformation theory, which you should know, I mean you should want to know about it, because it's a key item in your understanding how macrobiotics works, is that you should buy a tape that I've got on the 5 transformation theory, and get a book called Healing Ourselves by Mr. Noboru Muramoto. Muramoto, M-U-R-A-M-O-T-O. It's a classic book called Healing Ourselves.
Would they have it down at the macrobiotic store?
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But it's pretty easy to get. You can find it at a lot of health food stores, and there's a very good chapter on the 5 transformations in there. Now, according to the 5 transformation theory, corn is a manifestation of fire energy. Fire energy manifests in the summer, and it is also a bitter taste. And also in terms of the 5 transformations, it's at the more yin extreme of the expressions of the 5 transformations. So by roasting it and making it more yang, you're sending it over to the next transformation in terms of the taste. And the next transformation is the soil transformation, and that taste is sweet. So you can understand many things through yin and yang that otherwise don't make any sense at all. And the whole thing is, you see, is that at this time in human history, on a long-term view, it is paramount that the human being understands what he or she is doing. Okay, we are no longer allowed to be unconscious of what we're doing. We have to become conscious. So that's why I'm giving you all these long-winded explanations. You just touch it and
someone's knocking at your door.
Well,
mind if I get it?
Yeah, please do. There's nobody else there. They've all gone. I think they've gone to the batting cages this morning.
So when
where's
it's
the
bitter,
batting?
you say it's yin?
Huh?
When the cornmeal is bitter, it's yin?
It's more yin than
Yin.
when it's roasted.
Right.
So you have to see, yin and yang is always relative. You can't say something is yin because it doesn't make any sense. It's either more yin or more yang than something else
Okay.
that you're talking about, or you're referring to, or you're comparing it with.
We'll see.
All right.
Hi,
So this is
Jeff
Jeff.
Sparks.
Right. 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 I'm just roasting for about 5 minutes or so. Now, when you finish roasting it, what you do is you take it off the flame, and then you've got to add your 2 cups of water. In this case, I'm going to add 8. Then I'm going to add the sea salt first. So we're going to have how much sea salt here? 4, 3 is 12. That's 3 teaspoonfuls, right? Is that right? Geez, my math's not too bad this morning. I'm terrible at math.
Did the meal change colors too as you roasted it?
No,
So it looks the same.
it looks the same. It's just warmer to the touch, and it's got a different aroma to it. The aroma is sweeter.
Close the door, they're gonna cough their hair out.
Okay, to talk about the medicinal qualities of this dessert. Corn, as I said, corn is a manifestation of fire energy. Fire energy comes around in the summer. The fire state of transformation starts around about, well, it varies with where you live, essentially, I think. But the standard dates are, it comes around the summer solstice, June the 21st. But I think it starts a lot earlier in Northern California. You know, I think it starts maybe beginning of June. Now, in the human organism, the manifestation of fire energy is the heart and the small intestine. So corn is beneficial for strengthening the dynamics of vitality of the heart and the small intestine. Beans. Now beans, see every food necessarily has its medicinal properties, because in macrobiotic thinking, medicine doesn't mean what is normally thought of as medicine. The whole point is that we look at the human organism as a spiritual organism. Okay? A spiritual organism. And the designation we give to the organism with which we're concerned is called the chi body. CHI. Being, and that's the Chinese term for this. The Western term is the etheric body, also called the life body or the formative body. Now, the formative body, life body, etheric body, chi body is responsible for organizing the material substance that we take in into the form of the body, the physical body, and into its dynamics. So the dynamics of the heart and the shape of the heart is the result of the activity of the chi body with respect to the heart. So you have to imagine that when you're looking at a human being, when you're looking at the physical body, you're essentially seeing only an image of the human being. You're seeing an image of him, not the real thing. You really essentially don't see the human being when you look at the physical body. That's an illusion. And what you're seeing is a manifestation of the activities of the human organism manifesting as a physical body. It's a very strange idea, right? Because we so much identify with our physical bodies in this culture. And so you look at the body in those terms, chi energy. You also look at food the same way. Okay? So, and we use the 5 transformations to understand the relationship between the expressions of chi in the food kingdom and the expressions of chi in the human organism. Now, in the case of beans, they're an expression of water chi, water energy. And water energy manifests as the kidneys and bladder. So, when you eat the beans, you're eating that chi. That chi starts to act on the chi of the kidneys and starts to strengthen it and stimulate it and vitalize it. So that if there's any problems in the kidneys, you know, like stagnations, toxic gatherings, whatever, too much water, those start to get cleaned out. So,
Are you going to pressure cook the beans?
yeah, the beans have to be pressure cooked, because once I've added the seaweed to the beans, then the next thing is you bring the water to a boil. And what happens is all this froth comes to the surface, which we're starting to form right now. And that frothy stuff you skim off, because that's what causes gas. See, this method eliminates the beans as the cause of your gas problems. Because most people, when they start out macrobiotics, are going to have gas problems. Because they're either not cooking their food properly, or the food is not being chewed properly, or if you've taken care of those two, it's part of your healing process. You see, there's a lot of stagnation in the people's intestines. What I mean by stagnation is mucus, fatty, toxic gatherings that are in the actual tissue of the intestines. And also there's a lot of detritus, which is agglutinated, stuck against the wall. Very thick layers of thick mucus stuck against the wall of the intestines, which has been building up for years. So if you have an image, if this is the intestines, my 2 hands together, say like that. First of all, you've got a lot of mucus built up in here. Also, you got a lot of mucus built up in the wall, actually in the tissue of the intestine. And as I said, it's been building up for years. So when you start to clean it out, a lot of times that causes this stuff to release itself, and it releases itself in the form of gas. Because it's like, if you imagine, you know, have you ever been to a stagnant pond, and then these bubbles are coming up and they stink? That's body odor. Because of the increasing amount of pollutants that's found in the culture. And those pollutants is not going to decrease. You know, they're not going to decrease, not until this civilization changes its modus operandi, which is probably not going to be for another 3,000 or 4,000 years. So the key question is, what can you do about it? Because you're not going to get the agribusiness to stop chemicalizing the soil and the water and so forth, and you're not going to get the Chevron to quit oil refining, you're not going to get us to quit driving our cars around, right? I mean, we're not going to do that. So the key question is, what can you as an individual do so you are not vulnerable to all these pollutants that are in the atmosphere? Well, in the macrobiotic diet there are 5 substances, 5 foods that you eat pretty much every day, which all actively detoxify the blood of everything. And these are brown rice, the omiboshi plum, the fermented miso, sea salt, seaweed,
Fermented miso.
yeah, this is this stuff here,
Sea salt, yeah.
and seaweed, and of course because you're using sea salt in it, sesame salt. So pretty much those are basic staple ingredients in a macrobiotic diet. Now, the other key question is, what is the major barrier between your body and these pollutants? Now, what on your body?
Skin.
Yeah, and what about the internal skin? The digestive lining,
Mucus.
the mucous membrane. Those are the 2 chief barriers to allowing your body having these things get into your body. So of course, you have to get your intestinal tract, the mucous membrane lining from here to the back end cleaned out. And that's what you're doing with the diet and also with doing the ginger compresses. So essentially what you'll find is that as people become around us in the society, become more and more vulnerable and start showing more and more signs of toxic waste being deposited in their bodies and getting the symptoms thereof, you yourself will not be feeling those symptoms. Because once those toxins get into the body, they compromise the immune system. Because what the immune system is doing all the time is trying to get these toxins out of the body. Okay, so the immune system consisting of the liver, the spleen, the kidneys, the large intestine and the lungs, and the white blood system. Basically they're working all the time to get stuff out of the body that's toxic. And of course we create our own toxic by day-to-day activity. When the cells are working every day, they're producing waste products which have to be eliminated, which is why we need to urinate and go to the toilet. And we also breathe out poisons. And we also breathe out poisons through our skin. But that's normal, you know. So if you're starting putting more stuff into your body that you can't handle, then all those organs get run down.